Okay, then the next item is, oops, Jen. The next item is public hearing, item number 15, application for certificate of appropriateness at 340 West 12th Street in the Greenwich Village Historic District, docket number 15-3736, block 640, lot 50. And this is an Italianate-style row house built 1859 to 60, and this is an application to construct a rooftop addition and terrace, alter the areaway windows, alter the rear facade, and perform excavation.
Mary Ann Hurley, Preservation Staff. Project is located on the south side of West 12th Street between Greenwich and Washington Streets. And it's one of a row of three similar row houses built in 1860. The proposal is to lower the basement windows, install window shutters, perform excavation work to create a front areaway, lower the cellar floor, and the rear yard. The proposal also includes raising the fourth floor rear wall and roof to construct a larger fourth floor toward the rear and a new rooftop terrace toward the front. And Mary Dirks, proposal.
Thank you, Mary. Good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. This is the last one. I'm Mary Dirks, and I'm the preservation consultant for the project. With me to answer questions is Jesse DeRosa from Tricarico Architecture and Walter Pack, who is support of excavation engineering, can answer questions about the excavation. This is one of a row of three houses. You can see them, 1, 2, 3, that were built in the early Italianate style in 1859 to 60. It looks a lot like it did in 1940. It had lost its stoop previously. This is the rear facade. It had also been altered on the ground floor. It has a back house and one-story studio with a skylight that has altered doors and windows in front. Mary Ann described the proposed work, which is excavation of the basement and the rear yard and the rear house basement, raising the roof, creating a roof terrace, enlarging the first floor rear facade window and installing a balcony and stair, lengthening the front windows. There's staff level work too. And you're going to see it all, really. This is existing and proposed in front. New stoop, ironwork to match the neighbors, which is modern ironwork, just by the way. And shutters, new door to resemble the one adjacent.
Could you talk about the shutters?
The shutters are, yeah, I'm going to show you photos at the end, but these shutters, there's no evidence that there were shutters on this building. But there are shutters on the block, and shutters were used on buildings of this period. But there's no sign.
You're adding it, right.
The windows will be replaced. All of the woodwork and trim is going to be a very dark green, which is this color. Here's the drawn elevation, and this is showing you the areaway excavation. It's going to be 3.5 feet. The wall exposed at the areaway will be stuccoed to match the adjacent brownstone, which just by the way is brownstone stucco. This also shows the rooftop addition. It's not a rooftop addition, it's the raised roof. So just by chance you see this is the elevation of the front of the raised roof, which is going to be brownstone with color stucco with sliding metal and glass doors. This isn't visible from the street, by the way. This is the ground floor with the ironwork. This is the ground floor without the ironwork, but illustrates to you the lengthened windows. They're being lengthened 11 inches. Here are the window and cornice details. On the rear facade, the first floor window openings are being enlarged to match the basement window openings, and there'll be new sash, shutters. The rear parapet is being raised about 1 foot which makes it the same height as the adjacent row house to the right. But then there will be a a railing behind that rear parapet. There's a lot of work. The entrance doorway of the rear building will be enlarged and made to match the rear facade entrance. The skylight will be replaced because the skylight is not in good condition and is leaking, but it will be with one that matches the existing, except for the little hatch that you see. This is the existing section. This is the proposed section. The main building basement is being excavated 4 feet 2 inches, as is the side passageway. This building has a side passageway because, to get to the rear building. The rear house basement is being excavated 1.5 to 2 feet. It varies. And the rear yard 1 foot 4 inches. The basement floor on the main building is being lowered to provide more livable headroom. Current basement, new basement, and the ceiling height goes from 7.5 to 8.5 feet. The cellar then it becomes 9.5 feet from 6.5 feet. The rear house floor and the yard are being lowered to correspond to the front.
Is the area that you've shown in blue, what is that? That's,
The blue is the rooftop, it shows what the alteration is. And this shows new.
Okay.
Basically, this is new.
but is that portion at the top, that's completely new?
Well, it is. The rooftop alteration is raising the roof toward the back, where you see it, all the blue stuff, and adding a skylight and HVAC units on top.
The dotted line shows where it used to be.
The dotted line, which you can barely see, shows where it used to be.
I see, okay,
So-
so from the rear, that,
It's basically being raised to about the height, its highest at the rear. A
I
little
see,
bit more.
understood.
Shouldn't the
Got it.
wall of that section
B, not
not blue?
Yeah.
Well, that's the parapet, yeah. It's only the foot, 1 foot should be blue.
Yes, only the portion right on top.
And you're right, that's too much blue. Yeah.
Right, makes it
current-
seem like it's,
Actually, the only thing that should be blue is that stuff that's up above. the
Well,
roof.
it should be, yeah. It's an existing roof. It seems like a rooftop addition, but it isn't.
Yeah, it does seem like a,
got it.
So
Okay.
the height, the highest point now is 710, and the whole thing will be 8 feet.
Okay.
When it's done. Okay. This is the stoop detail showing the areaway excavation. Here are the existing and proposed plans. That's the areaway excavation.
And did this exist before that areaway?
Yes,
It's
so
at
it's
that
being
size, same
restored.
size.
Yeah.
And you really can see evidence of it from,
Well, it was, we do, because it was a row of 3 and the other 2 have stoops. And it would have had a stoop. But
No,
no,
not just stoop, I'm
we
just
see no physical evidence now. I think that was maybe when we started digging, but that was kind of wiped out. So this is the mock-up for the rooftop, the new roof, the raised roof and the
Right,
terrace.
right.
It can't be seen, but the reason we're going through this is a montage. The parapet, as you can see, is actually higher. It's going to be lowered when the new cornice
Mhm.
comes on. But calculating where by counting the bricks, we're calculating that even then, it still can't be seen from the street. This is houses with shutters on the block and historically. Community Board 2 objected to our matching the ironwork at the 2 adjacent row houses because they said it is not historic ironwork, it's modern. But it's similar. This is ironwork that is original of houses of the same period. So it's similar to ironwork that was being done in that early Italianate period. And that's it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Are there questions for the applicant?
so why?
Yes.
So why not use that ironwork that is more like the original than your neighbor's?
Well,
iron?
we don't,
Is it-
We don't have any evidence at all of what the original ironwork was. And this is similar to what was used at the time. They used a variety of ironwork, so it's plausible. But the other ironwork that I showed, there were two different types, so, you know.
Yeah, is there
Diana?
anything kind of similar on that block or adjacent blocks? I mean, that might be a little closer from your perspective, or?
Well, the nice thing about this is that it looks like it's neighbors and it's not so out of the ordinary for an early Italianate style. And then you get the feel of a three-row, 1859 row again. So there's that plus.
I understand. I understand. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Public testimony, Barbara Zay?
Sorry, Barbara Zay? Yeah.
Barbara Zay of the Historic Districts Council. HDC commends the restoration of this row house's front elevation, including the cornice, stoop, and installation of functional shutters. As the rooftop addition is not visible from the street, our committee did not find it objectionable. We would ask, though, that the applicant consider retaining more of the historic fenestration on the rear's second floor, which, as rendered, appears quite grand in the amount of proposed glazing. As always, HDC also asks that great care be taken in the excavation of the rear yard so as not to disturb neighboring buildings and foundations. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any more speakers? All right, Community Board 1 recommends in part and denies in part. It approves the approval of the step, stoop, entryway, and area modifications, alteration to the roof and front parapet, the excavation of the cellar, side passage, and below the rear house, and recommends approval of the modification of the basement portion of the rear facade of the rear house. However, they recommend denial of copying of incorrect ironwork from the neighboring house, excuse me, and does not approve the shutters. They also recommend denial of the excavation of the garden patio area, of the alterations to the parlor floor rear, and of the spiral stair.
I wanted to say that our original proposal had rear yard excavation, which we removed from the proposal.
Okay.
So that addressed the issue. And I forgot to mention that on the second floor of the rear, there will be a spiral stair going down so that there's access to the yard.
Right, but that's from the patio, right? That's from the,
It goes down
the
from
deck.
the first floor of the rear down to the patio, a spiral stair.
It's at the exterior of the rear,
Yes.
of the rear facade?
I didn't mention it. It's in the elevation. It's spiral.
Right,
It's
that's
just
outside,
that.
got it,
It's a spiral because the yard's very small.
right.
But you're
Understood.
still excavating at the rear for the back building and the patio.
Right, but we had proposed something that went down like that, and that's what people were commenting on. I don't know, they didn't see this, so I'm not sure whether they would still be opposed or not, but we're not proposing the much bigger excavation.
Okay. All right, any other questions for the applicant? All right, we can close the hearing. All right, I think this is a very nice restoration project in part in terms of the facade of the building. And I know they're introducing shutters, but it seems like it does not detract, and the village is seeing many shutters. And I think the rear addition is modest as well. Any concerns? Yes? You agree, great.
With regard to the ironwork, what is there might be new, but it's certainly period appropriate, and so I think it's acceptable. With regard to the shutters, I think that's the one thing that actually takes this character away from the others. And if I might, we have a client with whom we've worked for 26 years, the old Merchant's House, the Merchant's House Museum. In those 26 years, we've had to restore the wooden shutters 3 times, to the point now where my client insists on not putting them back. I mean, it's so from a practical sense, I would say, yeah, okay.
I would say that
From an aesthetic and historical sense, I would say no shutters, and from a practical sense, I think at some point your client will thank you if you off the shutters.
I think if you remove the shutters, it's not really going to change the project in any way, so it's not, right? In fact, it'll be more similar to the existing, the concurrent to, not the adjacent two buildings. Okay, so I think we're satisfied with that. Roberta, would you like to read the resolution? And just note that they'll remove the shutters.
In a matter of certificate of appropriateness for 240 West 12th Street, Greenwich Village Historic District. The application is to construct a rooftop addition and terrace, alter the area-way windows, alter the roof facade, and perform excavation. I recommend approval, finding that the proposed alterations at the front facade, the roof, and at the rear facade do not eliminate or cause damage to any significant historic fabric, that the addition of window shutters at the front facade will be in keeping with other historic row houses of a similar age and style, and within the historic district, that the lowering of the existing basement window openings approximately 12 inches will be only minimally visible from the sidewalk, that the changes to the areaway are consistent with changes to areaways on other houses of this age and style within the historic district, that the excavation of the areaway, the cellar level, and the rear yard will be designed and built in compliance with Department of Buildings regulations and under the supervision of a licensed professional engineer to protect the building and the adjacent buildings, that the proposed rooftop alteration and the installation of rooftop mechanical equipment will be set back from the primary facade and will not be visible from a public thoroughfare, that raising the top floor of the rear facade will not result in the top floor being taller than the predominant height of adjacent existing rear facades, that the rear facade and rear yard studio building alterations will not be visible from a public thoroughfare, that the enlarged window openings at the basement and parlor levels of the rear facade will maintain the historic interior alley door and scale and character of the building as an individual row house, that the modest size of the proposed rear deck and stairway will not eliminate the presence of a rear yard, and that the proposed windows at the rooftop of the rear yard studio building will recall the historic large Anglo studio type windows in size, materials, and glazing areas.
But the shutters will be removed from this proposal, I thought. No?
Yes,
Yes.
I think they agreed to remove the shutters, because I think you wanted the shutters removed, right? Yes, and I think it just makes it much more, some of us don't feel so strongly about it, but I think that they agreed to it. Okay,
Oh, and so, and
Okay.
that the shutters will not be.
okay. Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?